Well, Smitty, we've had some time now to digest what teams did in the draft. Very busy trade season, what happened at Summer League, and all the wild signings and free agency. So let's go over some of your winners and losers as we're midway through July.
Denver Nuggets, they got a chance to acquire Paul Millsap in free agency. That was a great get. One, I think he's a perfect fit. He's a veteran, a great locker room guy, and he can play. And I think when you start talking about playing next to Jokic, you have two great passers at the 5 and the 4. Both can play outside the paint, in the paint, and they are good people. And I think this is going to be great for these young guys to have guys like Paul Millsap and the Joker getting them easy buckets, and they drafted well. Monte Morris at Iowa State can play, and Tyler Lydon from Syracuse. I like those two picks.
And don't overlook Millsap's defense, too.
Right.
Guards so many different positions. All right, number 2, let's stay in the West here, the Sacramento Kings.
I can't believe we're saying this, Jay.
Wait, is this real?
This is the Sacramento Kings. But first of all, they acquired a lot of veterans.
Yep.
Vince Carter, Zach Randolph, and George Hill. You know, you got a small, a wing, and a big, and they all know how to play. But then you start talking about who they drafted.
Yep.
This kid Fox is the real deal. Then, okay, Justin Jackson, Frank Mason, and Harry Giles. If he's right, if he can be healthy, he is a big-time pickup for the Kings. And I can't believe we said it again. The Kings did well in the offseason.
It's amazing to think that this front office, so ridiculed before the trade deadline for what they did with DeMarcus Cousins, now maybe have had the best summer of any front office. But you believe one front office has done slightly better than Sacramento.
Yeah, I do. I just think when you start looking at off seasons, the Celtics is unbelievable to me. I mean, Gordon Hayward being able to acquire them, also trade the pick and acquire some more picks.
Right.
And then Jason Tatum.
Maybe the best guy out in Vegas. And
Maybe
Utah.
In Utah. That's the one. I'm glad you added that. And Utah. And he played both in Utah. He really didn't sit out a lot of games, just the last couple games. But Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, not bad. Also, they picked up Baines. That's a pretty good offseason.
Do you think that it did enough to change how you felt about the space between the Cavs and the Celtics?
I thought they just closed the gap.
Right.
I don't think they even close or over the Cavs. I just think they closed that gap. And you're just waiting. Anything can happen.
How much more does adding a guy like Hayward mean than losing a guy who's a locker room guy, a veteran leader, and one of the best defenders in the league in Avery Bradley?
You know, I think because of the salary cap went down that they had to lose Avery Bradley. But if they could have kept Avery Bradley along with these two, I'd have gave them an A++.
And there's still plenty of assets to trade.
Still.
Got to think that Danny Ainge may make another deal here at some point. All right, if there's winners, there's got to be losers.
Yeah, the Utah Jazz for me. I mean, the Utah Jazz is I thought they had a great year and the momentum was going. It's hard to acquire teams out in Utah. And then also you lost George Hill.
Right.
You waived Boris Diaw. I just look at this as going to be a totally turnaround where the West, to me, has gotten better. The top teams have gotten better, and then those teams that were 9, 10, or 11 are starting to catch up. And I just think this is going to move the Utah Jazz down into the teams that are they going to make the playoffs or not. So I think the Utah Jazz.
Smitty, it's a harsh reality, but if we're going to say how much Gordon Hayward means to the Celtics, then you have to acknowledge how much it means to lose him in Utah. It's just the fact of the matter that he truly is one of the more talented offensive players in this league.
It is, and I think it just came down to, you know, that relationship with Brad Stevens. How can you? And the Boston Celtics, if they weren't winning, I don't think they would acquire Gordon Hayward. And then my next pick, losers, is the New York Knicks.
Say it with a straight face. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It's the Knicks. No Phil Jackson.
Yep.
Obviously, front office, and obviously it's starting to come together a little bit right now. With Scott Perry and Steve Mills, they got that together.
Right.
Woo, finally. And then now Carmelo said, "Oh, Phil Jackson's gone. I'll waive my trade clause now."
Maybe today, maybe not tomorrow.
Maybe not tomorrow, but so far he said it, and he wants to go. And right now, I haven't seen the draft pick.
Ntilikina, yeah.
Ntilikina, but I have seen Dennis Smith Jr. I'll hold my reservations just because I haven't seen him play yet.
Right.
But right now, I knew Dennis Smith Jr. was good, and I got a chance to see him in Summer League. That would have been great if they could have drafted him.
And it seems...
It would have been excitement for New York.
Yeah.
The way he plays, he's a tech guy. He reminds me a little bit of Steve Francis.
Yeah, a lot of people, we've heard some Baron Davis.
Yep.
With the way barrels down
Strong,
the lane, yeah.
athletic.
You know, one of the things we had talked about throughout the course of the season when there was controversy with Phil Jackson was the residue that would be there long past his tenure. We didn't know when that would be, if that was in a couple of years or if it would be this summer as it is. and we're starting to feel that. It's tough to have what happened happen and then just recover no matter who you bring into the front office.
And also, Jared, I'm glad you say that. Just to add, even though he's still there, Porzingis has just distanced himself from the Knicks.
Yeah.
Hopefully Steve Mills and Scott Perry can gather. I think that's the number one thing they need to do. Fly to Porzingis and find out where his mind is.
And he's got to grow, right? Melo still may be the best player, but the importance of the franchise is on the shoulders of Porzingis and his growth each year. So you bring in Ntilikina, okay, so you want him to grow, but you got to have that point guard position that could feed the big man the ball where he wants
Yes. The exit meeting, Porzingis said not having it, so no one's really talked to him since.
it. Nobody. Oof. Depressing. Sorry, Knicks fans. Shades of Frederick Weiss.